Good morning and welcome to a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. We got new background, we got some new music. Do we like this music, you guys? I don't know if we like this music. I don't know. I don't know. It's up for debate. It's up for debate. I don't know. Let's see how we feel about this music. Some would say it's okay. I'm trying some new music out, new technology here, you guys. So trying to see how it meshes, maybe it's too loud. Let's just start there, right? Maybe it's too loud. Okay, let's keep it. Let's put it on the back end. Okay, I hope that's low enough. If it ain't, y'all better tell me. Y'all better tell me. Welcome to another glimpse of growth, you guys. I feel like it's still too loud. At least for me. For me. Okay, what about there? It's very low. I think it's very low. Hello, you guys. Hello. Welcome to a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. Today is Wednesday 14, January 14. January 14. And we have got to cover some things. How are you guys? How is your new year going? How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing amazing. Hopefully you're doing nice and so and good. Everything's are good on your end. And if it's not good today, it's gonna get good in a little bit. In a little bit. So yeah, today's conversation, we're talking about the version of you 2026. Not that we want it. We need it. We need it. Because there's a lot going on, you guys. So we need to make sure that the version of us or whoever it is that we're showing up as in 2026 is what we need. So therefore, here's your quote. You guys know we always have a quote. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And that's from Aristotle. So, if we are what we do repeatedly, who are you? Who are you showing up as in 2026? Since what we do is what we repeatedly do. Who we are is what we repeatedly do. If that's the case, who are you? I got some new look going on here, you guys. I'm trying out some new things. I'm trying to see how that works. So let me know what you guys think about the new look. It's still not 100%. So it's going to have to be some trying some new stuff in the interim and seeing what I like, what we like. So think about how many times last year you said to yourself, I'll start to slow down when I'll start to maybe do that thing when. But that time never came. That time never came, y'all. So what happened? 2026 is a version of you that build habits. Let it be a version of you that builds habits. Not perfect ones. Just build a habit. A habit that you didn't do, that you didn't have in 2020, in 2025, that you want to do in 2026. Let this be that, right? Let this be that. So here's the story, right? Talking to a professional friend of mine, she told me that every year, around, when the end of the year is coming and New Year is here, every year it tends to feel different. But usually when it comes to Mondays, most people hate Mondays. Most people hate Mondays, but she's like, Mondays feel the same. Always rush, you dread that Sunday dread, right? And that's a whole thing. We're not even going to go into that. Same stress, same rushing, same short fuse by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. for some people, or even probably 7 a.m. Nothing dramatic, you know, was wrong, but nothing was either changing. This is what she told me. So when we kind of talked about it, we dug deeper into the conversation and realized that it wasn't a lack of her not having an ambition to do anything. It's just that it was a lack of systems that she didn't have in place. You know what I mean? No morning grounding, or no morning habit or routine to kind of help her set herself up for a healthy morning, a focused morning, a going morning. No pause before reacting. When she was just rush off and do things because she want to get it done, right? And at least if it was done, then she didn't have to worry about it, right? No type of system to support her from an emotional standpoint and regulate herself. They didn't, it wasn't about needing a new job or a new year. It's just she just needed some emotional maturity in her small moments, that would help her kind of show up a little bit more and more intentional, and not letting people around her and people, at work and family kind of take her off focus. So that's what the conversation was pretty much about, and how much of that was happening, and how much of that she was allowing, right? And that's when it kind of clicked. Growth doesn't really show up in big announcements. It shows up in those small, quiet, between you and you routines that you are doing, right? The version of you that you would want to show up in this 2026 year is built on what you repeatedly do, like Aristotle said, right? Not what you plan occasionally, right? Is what you do, what you consistently do, right? So here's some things, right? Here's some things to kind of help with with that. And what helped me is, pausing is a huge one. And I talked about it last week on TikTok. The art of pausing, right? The pausing instead of reacting. I remember so many times how I used to just run off and say things and think things, and without even thinking about what I was saying. And of course, time and time again, not until it was already done or said, it's already gone. Can't take it back. So then I would wind up having to, apologize and regretting, and then the guilt would set on all the things that I did and said. And I just was tired of that. I was tired of apologizing and doing this, having this to do the same mistake over and over again. And so that's when I decided I wanted to do something different, right? So tapping into all these tools and these trainings that I got into as it relates to emotional intelligence and self development and healing traumas and stuff. Those things kind of led me slowly to some really solid tools. And pausing before reacting is one of them. This another one I would say is communicating instead of shutting down. Ooh, that's a huge one for me. It was a huge one for me was when someone did something or said something that I did not like, that I did not necessarily agree with. Instead of voicing how I felt in the moment, or even replying in a healthy way, I would shut down or walk away or not talk to that person again, and they wouldn't even know it. They wouldn't even know it, y'all. They had no idea that I was like shutting them down, or not talking to them or anything. I would just keep all of these things to myself. And I came to the conclusion that I was just tired of not sharing my voice, not showing up for me, right? And it was time. It was time. So that's where we are. That's what I had to do, and I started to slowly but surely show up and say and do and be, and say, if in the moment I couldn't say it because I was too vexed, what I would do is come back to the person after I've calmed down. In the moment I probably would have walked away, and later on I would come back to the person or reply to the person and say, hey, you said this, and I don't necessarily, when you said this is how it kind of made me feel. I'm not sure if that was your intention, but this is what I felt, and I just wanted to let you know. And what was your rationale for saying what you said? And then, kind of asking the questions and not jumping to conclusions and blaming, because I learned that my triggers is not because of what they said. My triggers is because of what showed up for me, right? There's a reaction that I had to it. And then why did I have that reaction? And then going down that road of really having some self awareness in understanding why I acted that way or why that made me angry, right? Take responsibility instead of blame. Ooh, this is what we're talking about right now, right? Taking full responsibility for how you are showing up, and not saying because this person did this, I did that. So you're saying that person has control over you. That's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? So hearing, being completely in charge of you. I mean, you can't, I mean, I know sometimes in workplaces and stuff, and depending on the boss, sometimes boss want to be in control of what that person is doing all day every day for those 8 hours, right? Sometimes you can't you can't be like sitting there watching the person like a hawk. And if you are, that's micromanaging, and that's not healthy, right? That's not healthy. But instead of jumping to conclusions, take responsibility for for your actions, not for what someone else's. You can't control what other people do. You just can't. I mean, so don't even try. And when you start to look to control them, you realize really quick that you don't even have control over yourself. And then you have to go down that road of figuring that out. You know what I mean? You have to go down that road of figuring that out. Is Take responsibility for your actions. If you don't do anything else in 2026, is please take responsibility for your own actions. Stop pointing fingers. Really kind of look at yourself. Yes, everybody else is going to do, everybody else is going to be, everybody else is going to say, but you are in control. And I talk about this all the time. You are in control of four things as it relates to you. You're in control of how you think, what you feel, what you say, and how you act. Those are the four things. Don't you got, and there's another version of that I heard. Your 5 M's. I heard this somewhere else. Your 5 M's of control. You control your mouth, your mood, your money, your mind, and your manners. Right? And that's just an extended version of the ones that the four that I just gave you. So your mouth, nobody forces you to say what you're gonna say. You are the one choosing what to say, right? So your mouth, your mood. If something or your environment or someone, if you're allowing, and let's call that, let's just kind of be real with it right now, right? Let's just be completely naked in terms of being honest, right? Nobody has control over what you say. If you choose to say it or not say it, that's on you. If you choose to not have a voice in that situation, that's on you. If you choose to not say anything or do anything in that moment, that's on you. What that person does, or whoever that person, that whatever the situation is, whatever the other person do or say, that's here or there to you. How you defend yourself and stand up for yourself is where the secret sauce is at. That's where the secret sauce is. Because after I would be in those conversations where folks will say something, and I would walk away, or later on I would reflect on it. I realized that I am like, why didn't I say something in that moment? Why didn't I respond? Why did I keep quiet? Why did I deflect? Why did I ignore? Why did I pretend like I was okay with it and smile through it when I wasn't? So I realized that I abandoned myself. So I had to start doing things a little bit differently, right? And intentionally. That's not something that you just, oh, I'm going to just do that. You have to like practice that, right? And the moments come up, because the moments always come up. The moments always come up. And because the moments always come up, you get a plethora of ways to practice, right? So the question is, how are you got to go back and rectify that situation, and you got to make a decree and keep that promise you made to yourself. I am going to start showing up for myself. I'm going to start taking responsibility for what happens around me, and if it's something that I do not like, I am going to say it with care. Okay, you don't have to be callous or rude and say what you have to say. You can say it with care. You can be clear about it, right? But you can say it with clear, very clear, clear and care. Clear and care is where we want to be at. Okay, clear and care. Napoleon had said, you will never have complete self-control unless you exercise greater control over your own emotion. I'm gonna say that again. Because if you are out here in these streets, and these streets meaning the world, if you're out here in the world allowing people, situations to control how you show up, your mood, right? And your mouth, and then, what you say to yourself in your mind, then you're going to be forever vexed, forever frustrated, forever burnt out, forever stressed, right? Because you're allowing people and things and situations to control how you show up. And I'm not saying to show up with a smile every time. I'm saying there's a way to do it, right? Being real, acknowledge the situation, and okay, this is what it is. All right, good. We got this is not good, but I'm not gonna lash out. I'm not gonna take it out. That's what a friend of mine used to do. Like, he would take out his frustration on his family members, right? And when he was not in the best space, of when things would go left, his car would break down, and the next person he talked to, they got the brunt of whatever it is he was feeling in that moment, right? And that's not fair, right? And that's one thing that I did not like, which is why I probably latched on to emotional intelligence so very much, is that when I would go, when I was just starting out in the workplace, in the world of work, you guys, I realized that my spirit did not latch on one bit to on kindness, and people that were just rude and disrespectful, and bosses that just was so discouraging, and just being unnecessarily just not nice people, not kind people. And my spirit just did not take it. That's not how I was raised. And so I just, went straight into, I just love me some emotional intelligence, because it allowed me to show up and in a healthy way from an emotional standpoint, meaning that whatever happened around me, I did not let the people and the situation control how I showed up. And it took some time to get here, right? Because that's something that was so important to me. I made it a priority, and I made it a priority, and I put healthy habits in place and routines that I would stick to. I would have quotes on my, on my computer at work, or before I was going to reply, that I had frustrated that email that I just got, that I felt that really was so all caps email, all caps letters, and just really being completely professional. I would just wanted to just reply and say things, right? And it's probably in one or two occasions I probably did. And then later on, I would regret it, right? So what I would do is just, I would not reply right now, right? I would wait till I calm down, or wait 24 hours, right? And just let that sit, right? Because it just did not serve me, right? So that was number three, you guys. So pause instead of reacting, communicate your concerns instead of shutting down. Three, take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming others. And number four, rest without guilt. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say about that one, you guys. That one is so rest without guilt. Can we just rest? And this is one that I probably still working on. Rest. Like sometimes, I mean, I rest now, but now I may be physically sitting down and resting. Now the thing is, am I allowing myself to rest up here? Right? Are you allowing yourself to rest up here? You may be laying down, but are you resting up here? Are you really being present in the moment while you're resting here? Or are you thinking about what you're doing, what you're going to be doing tomorrow and the day after and next year and all those things? Right? That's what it came down to for me. And this is where I'm tackling right now. While I'm laying down or resting or relaxing or doing a self-care routine, making sure that I'm present from here and here, right? And then of course, number 5, follow through without needing applause. Follow through on what I want to do, what I say I'm going to do, without needing someone to say good job, good job, good job. So this is stuff that I'm working on, you guys. And these are small habits, they're daily habits, they are boring habits, right? These are not where you get people to kind of psych you up. And this is because emotional maturity doesn't show up in these big speeches. It doesn't show up where everybody can see it. It shows up in how you on a random Tuesday when nobody is watching, on a random Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing? How are you taking care of your mind, body, soul, spirit? That's what it comes down to, right? That's what it comes down to. So if this message resonated with you, if you, take a breath with me and take a step, one step, whatever that one step is for you, right? I name one thing that works. I mean, 5 things that work for me, and maybe how you can kind of incorporate it so maybe they can work for you. But it comes down to you and how you are showing up and how you are doing it and what you are doing. Because every single time, Every single time you decide that you're going to do something for yourself and you don't do it, you don't do it, what are you saying to yourself? If someone don't keep a promise to you, how do you feel about that? What do you say to that person? How do you say? What do you go? What do you say after you realize that they don't keep that promise? Are you are you sad about it? What do? You go talk to the person, right? If you care about them, if you want to maintain that relationship, then you want to talk to them about it, right? You want to make sure that, hey, didn't you say you were going to do this? What happened? Then you're going to have to explain yourself, right? Because you owe them that much. And then once they explain themselves and they gave you the rationale, though it didn't sound like it was a real reason, you're gonna give them that. You're like, all right, I'll let you have that. Okay, so can we do it next week then? So you're gonna make another promise to yourself or to that person. The person's gonna make another promise, and then you're gonna give them another opportunity, right? Exactly. So that whole process, you need to do that with yourself. If you didn't stick to the promise that you said you were going to do or the thing you said you were going to do, you have another opportunity today. Now, since we're only 14 days into the new year, you got one thing that I'm doing differently for me that will help me see through all of my goals instead of not all of them is looking at the year from a quarter standpoint. And this is what I told the husband too. Looking at the year from a quarter standpoint, because there's only 4 quarters in a year. If I look at the year in quarters, from a quarter standpoint, then I will realize really quick that I don't have as much time as I think I have. If you think, oh, I have 12 months, 11 months to get it together, I'll get it then. I'll get it at some point, right? No, 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 we're not doing that, right? We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I changed that's one perspective that I decided to change about how I looked at my, when I started to make my goals for my business and or my personal goals, we kind of mesh together sometimes from time to time. So I started to just look at the year from a quarter standpoint and realize I only got 4 quarters and I'm in one of them right now. So that means I got 3 left. So whatever it is, whatever my tasks are, I'm breaking them up in quarters. So that way the pressure, I don't have to worry about doing that thing that's going to happen in 4th quarter now. I could probably work on some of that stuff now, but in a very minor way. My focus right now is whatever I set for Q1, right? So Q1, I'm going to focus on not reacting when someone says something crazy. That's what I'm going to focus on in Q1, right? That one thing, maybe small, but it's definitely always worth it, right? It's always worth it. So that's where we're at, you guys, and that's it. I ain't got nothing else for you. If any of this resonated, just come back. We're here. I'm here on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and a glimpse of growth. Thank you guys for being here with me, and I'll see you guys next week. Next month, we're going to start to have our guests here in the studio with me, and let me know what you guys think about this new look. I'm still trying to get used to it. So yeah, my new background and stuff, I got my new stuff going on. Let me know what you guys think. But yes, thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. And subscribe. Check out my website, dalereports.com. That's where I have I have my free guide up now. I have a free guide, a leadership series, no, leadership risk checklist, right? For your business. So you can definitely check that out. Check that out. I have some, if you're a manager and you want healthy ways to kind of provide feedback to your employees, my feedback frames, definitely check that out. But you're gonna have to go to my website, subscribe, and get my newsletter and all the things. So, with that, I'll see you guys next week for another glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale.